Good evening and welcome back, Red Wave America, to another discussion video. I'm going to take a break from the denomination series for this week and maybe for a couple weeks. I want to focus on politics since this is a political channel, and I feel like that I've strayed away from politics a little bit on Red Wave America. So I want to get back to talking about politics more for the next couple episodes at least, and also for future episodes of this discussion series. I've thought about doing a new series called Red Wave America News Channel, or like just news, where I'll just do videos once a week on the news of that week of what has happened in our country and around the world. But today it's going to kind of be like that, except it's really not. It's focusing on the administration that we are currently under. And so, as this video is titled, who do you think will run for president in 2028? People are already talking about this. 2028 will be here before you know it. And so I think it's good for me to do this video because not many of you know Red Wave America's stands on who we think are going to run. We've said that we endorsed Ron DeSantis. Turns out he's not going to probably run, and we'll talk about that guy also. But there's new scenarios since last time we did those videos a couple months back on Ron DeSantis. Changes have been made. But I want to first talk about the current Trump administration. What is going on currently? Let's first of all talk about the beginning. So he promised a lot. He promised to fix our economy, lower the costs, release classified documents on JFK, Martin Luther King Jr., and of course, Epstein files. He fulfilled a lot of promises. He also said no new wars. He said that. No more war. 2 years, well, actually a year and a half later, we've been in constant wars in the Middle East. Now, it's just the Middle East. It's in that area. There's been like Venezuela, like that didn't last long. And then I think another country in Africa, Nigeria. I can't remember if we did something to them or not. But at least in Venezuela, we kidnapped their leader. That didn't really result in a war. But really the Middle East, where it started out during the Biden administration when Israel bombed Gaza. Now, in this channel, in Red Wave America, we're not going to pick a side on the Israeli debate topic just because, honestly, it's not American politics, and I don't think it should be a concern. So I'm not going to really choose a side on this situation. I will look at a standpoint. I'll look at both standpoints maybe, but I'm not going to choose or say where I stand because it's really that should not label us Americans. Are you pro-Israel or are you anti-Israel or are you neutral? No, you don't need to be labeled any of that because it doesn't matter. It's a country in the Middle East. We live in America. What goes on over there, none of our concern. Now, I get it. It can be frustrating that our politicians are voting for weapons and money to go to the Middle East for these wars that Trump promised not to have. I know that can be frustrating, but whether or not you support a country has nothing to do with this. When you start to give money to other countries to do wars, aren't you really destroying the entire point of what Elon Musk and Doge did when they took out all these wasteful spending? Wasteful spending can also apply to military in other countries that have nothing to do with us. So let's first go back to the beginning here. He wanted to end that war. I have no idea where that war actually is. I don't know if it ever ended, the Gaza and Israeli war, or Palestine, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then we had Iran. And that is where we're currently at. And this is the part I want to talk about. War, Iran. America declared war on Iran, I believe, sometime in 2025 or maybe early 2026. So then they shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which you guys probably are hearing about. Shut that down. Gas prices went right back up. I think in my area, they went down to at least $2.89, was as cheap as they got. areas around were around like 260, 250, 240 even. Then the Strait of Hormuz shut down, and within a week we were at 459. Gas prices skyrocketed. Everyone began freaking out. They said Trump's a terrible president. Oh, this shouldn't be happening, and war. And then we've had the 20 peace treaty things. Oh, we're gonna open the Strait of Hormuz. Next day, never mind. We got to start over. And it just kept going back and forth. And people were like, "Is this war ever going to end?" Well, then we started to actually have good talks, and they opened the Strait of Hormuz, and gas started to go down recently. It's no longer 459. It's now, in my area, 389. It's still pretty expensive compared to what it was in the beginning of this year. But it should go down by $2 based off the oil thing that went down a barrel. It's like $74 a barrel last time I checked. Benny Johnson, I think, talked about that. So that should be good news. Strait of Hormuz also is officially, on Trump's 80th birthday, reopened. Peace has been made. I believe the war has ended. But during the other peace, we had Israel bomb Lebanon, and people were like, "What in the world?" And Trump's aggravated about that. So who knows? The war has been supposedly could have ended so many times, and it didn't. So we'll see if that happens. So America's not happy. Americans are not happy that Trump has not fulfilled his promise of no new wars, and that Trump is giving money away to other countries. Me personally, I believe we should leave NATO. So that's my stance. If you want to know my beliefs on foreign affairs, I know George Washington would agree with me. Beware of entangling with foreign alliances. Stay out of their affairs. He said, another quote, "We should be less involved as much as possible from the outside world and more focused on our country. America first," which is being heavily attacked. And if you attack me, you're just a bunch of stupid people who honestly are not America first. If you're going to get mad at me for saying I love my country more than another country, then leave this country. I don't want you here. You're a nuisance. You're terrible. Go to that country if you want to live there. Okay? We don't want you here if you're not going to put our country first and you're putting another country first. I'm not going to mention any names, but I think many of you know who I'm talking about. If you like that country better than our country, go there. But if not, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at the other Republicans or Democrats even, if there are any Democrats who also agree with this, who want to put America first. In fact, the people want to put America first. In fact, the people are united on this topic. It's the politicians that are not. Politicians want to keep giving money away. That's our money, by the way, to other countries. So people don't like that. They're mad. They're furious with Trump on that. And they're like, oh, we're going to have a blue wave, which is stupid. We're just going back and forth. Oh, the Republicans didn't work out, so I think we need to go back to the Democrats, even though that they didn't work out for 4 years. So let's just keep going back and forth instead of voting a third party, which could actually fix something. Let's just keep going back and forth, which is exactly why nothing ever gets done in this country, by the way. So war, expensive, money, crisis, economy is not doing good. Prices have not gone down. Gas prices went down. But housing and food and groceries and all that did not go down at all. Maybe a little bit, but it's still very expensive. Now, I moved out. I don't live with my parents anymore. I'm 20 years old. But I rent, and that is a scam there. But I really had no choice because the cost of housing is so expensive that young people who are in my generation cannot afford to move out. There's a problem there. Trump needs to fix that. If young people cannot afford to move out, then they are not maturing, they are not growing, and they're not creating their way of life like our parents and their parents did. So now you have young people moving out in their 30s, getting married in their 30s, having kids in their 30s, waiting for everything in their 30s. They wasted 10 years that could have been, well, already having a house, ready for marriage at a very young age, in the 20s, early 20s, probably could have already had 3 kids by now. You could probably be okay off in an economy of the 80s and 70s. But now our economy is crap. It's terrible. And if you're all going to be gullible with that and not admit it, then, well, that's your own problem. But our economy is very bad. It's screwed. It's terrible. I'm surprised we don't have more people on the street, because it is so hard to do this. Now, we have jobs. Yeah, jobs are good. But here's the thing with inflation and all this. Just because you're getting raises does not mean you're actually getting raises. In fact, you could be getting cuts. Let's say you're making $15 an hour, and now you're making $18. Congratulations, you gained $3. However, if they did that in result of the economy, because the money amount went down, and an item that used to be $5 is now $10, well, now you're down $2 for a thing that was worth cheaper. So technically, you didn't make anything. You actually lost $2 in a way. If that makes sense. I explained that probably not that good, but that's exactly how the economy is. Your hourly or salary does not climb as fast as the economy going up. Inflation is faster than money going into your wallets. And also, let's talk about this. When you're only keeping, let's say, for me personally, I'm only keeping, let me calculate this real quick. That will do. I'm only keeping like 17.5% of what I make a year. Only 17.5. So where does that other 85 or 82.5 go? Well, let me tell you. It goes to, well, first of all, a fourth of it goes to taxes and all that stuff. And then grocery bills, gas, rent, bills, internet, more bills, hospital fees, bills, insurance, car expenses. And then you might have, let's say you make $40,000 a year. You're only keeping around $7,000. And that's not if you don't have a surprise hospital bill that I didn't calculate right now. You're not making much, and you're only keeping very little. And the cost of housings are around $200,000 to $300,000, and you only earning $7,000. Let's say 7,000 divided by 200,000. It will take you 35 years to save that up. Are you serious? Okay, maybe not 35. Okay, 30 years. Sorry, I was a little off. 30 years to save up to get a house. Seriously? This is the economy that we fought and died and shed blood for our children so that they could have a prosperous, free, liberty life? More like enslaved life. Did slavery actually even end? That is a big question. So people are not happy. Young people today are not happy. And we got old people saying, oh, Gen Z is so far gone. And, you know, I've said the same thing about my own generation. I see these terrible, woke, liberal people who are my age. And I'm like, my generation's screwed. But I also see other people my age who think like me. Who are coming up with these new ideas, realizing that the government is using us, and I respect that. And I'm like, great. So maybe my generation won't be that bad after all. And so the economy, and immigration. Let's get to immigration. We got ICE. People don't like ICE. I don't know why. I like ICE. Deport the illegals. Anyone who's crossed our country illegally should be deported. I agree with that. So ICE is good. For those who think it's not, you're an idiot, and you should be deported yourself. You don't deserve to live in this country. If you think someone else should come in this country who illegally crossed, and we should give them money, which hurts us, by the way, no. I'm not going to do that. So that part is good for the Trump administration. They're actually doing a very good job for the immigration policy. But then we got the Epstein files, the Epstein list. Now, not all of you probably know what this is. A bunch of old people don't know much about this because they don't care. I'm just going to flat out say this. There are several things that Trump is doing. Listen, old people, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I know for a fact that 80% of the people who watch my videos are above the age of 40. 80% of my audience. I'm not reaching my generation. I'm reaching you guys. So I'm going to talk to you since I'm only reaching 20% of Gen Z, if even that. And like, it's ridiculous because like 20-some% of you are over 80. Another 20-some% of you are over 65. And another 20-some% of you are over 40. That's like 60%. Okay, so 60. And then like 20% are 30, and then like less than 20 are under 30 years old. It's crazy that I'm not even reaching my own generation. But let me just talk to you old people. There's a lot of things out there in the internet, AI, and you know my opinions on this. I don't support AI. I think AI should be destroyed. It's a terrible thing that we're doing, and I don't agree with electronics. My kids are not going to have electronics, video games, and all this stuff. I don't like it. It's destroyed our generation. But there's a lot of things out there. AI, artificial intelligence, they are good at making fake videos that makes it seem like something is real. It's crazy. The things that they're making, the videos that they're making look so realistic that it's not your fault, but you're falling for it because you didn't grow up as a Gen Z grew up. They grew up with this technology. You did not. And so they know what is fake and what is real. I'm an editor. I know what's fake. I know what's real. I edit videos. I know exactly what is real in people's videos or what is fake. It's not hard. And so there's a lot of things that the government has told us that are lies, and so they fooled an entire generation, the boomers, Gen X, and a little bit of Gen Y even. They fooled a lot of you, mainly boomers and Gen X. Gen Y is not that fooled. Gen Z is not fooled at all. And the fact of the matter is, we're going to look at some stats later about these 5 candidates I'm going to be talking about soon. But the administration, if they don't get their act together, Gen Z is what is going to fix this country. One direction or another, they're going to do something. And if it's the woke Gen Z, then our country's screwed. But if it's the conservative Gen Z, the conspiracy Gen Z, our country could be heading into a very prosperous life. So, currently, what do you think of Trump? I voted Trump. But I don't like Trump. And here's why. He does not represent Christians at all. He claims to be a Christian, but I doubt it. He appointed Paula White, a heretic, by the way. I don't know why he appointed her. And I think it's time for a younger person who is not controlled. There, I said it. Not the biggest conspiracy theorist, but I do believe our politicians are being controlled. Somehow. I mean, I know how, but I'm not going to say here. So, you can believe it or not, but the truth is your government has been lying to you for the past 60, maybe more years, ever since the JFK assassination. They have lied to you. They've lied about JFK. They've lied about Martin Luther King Jr. They've lied about 9/11. They've lied about Charlie Kirk and Butler, PA, of Trump's potential assassination. Not potential. It was his almost assassination. They've hid things from you. Charlie Kirk. Let's talk about that real quick. That is a big thing that has hurt Trump. Not the biggest recently. There's another thing that's hurt him even more. I'll tell you in a minute. But the Charlie Kirk, what the FBI released to us was bullcrap lies, and they know it. They've lied to you. Probably gonna get canceled for saying that, but I honestly don't care because it's like they think we're stupid, and all you old people are believing it. You honestly think some kid got his grandpa's rifle, unscrewed it, put it up his pant leg, somehow walked up the stairs, got upstairs, got a screwdriver also somehow. Nobody sees it on camera for an hour. He screws back his gun, doesn't even fix his eyeglass thing that you have to look through. Then he shoots a perfect shot that somehow doesn't explode Charlie Kirk's neck. Charlie Kirk gets shot, perfect aim. Then he unscrews the gun, leaves the screwdriver on the roof, puts back the gun in his pant legs, runs off the roof like Spider-Man, jumps off, fixes his rifle without the screwdriver. Wow, that's impressive. And then just tosses it back in the bushes. And then goes off and then has a dramatic conversation on his phone with his trans boyfriend. Poetic, by the way. And then he supposedly pleads guilty. No, that's not what I meant. He then turns himself in, and then he pleads not guilty. What? Seriously? You want us to believe that in old people? That is the story. I don't know why I call you old people. I'm sorry. Boomers. Gen X. I'll call you that. That's the story. Gen Y even. That's the story. Do you believe that? Are you serious? The gun that was supposedly used, that I don't even think they found, by the way, would not have did what it did to Charlie Kirk. And also the direction was off. But even with the direction, the FBI even says it was a miracle that it didn't explode his neck. The gun that would have been used to do that would have been a very smaller gun, and it had to be in the crowd. It was not Tyler Robinson. It was not. You're not fooling anyone. He pleaded not guilty after he supposedly turned himself in. And the thing was, I think he was supposed to get shot, but he turned himself in instead. So, unlike the guy who shot JFK, I had his name, but I forgot. They shot him. We'll never really know if he actually did shoot JFK. But the single bullet theory was terrible also. But just saying, research, please. Don't listen to the government. You literally hated the Democrat government just 2 years ago and didn't believe a single thing. But now, it's now a Republican government. So now we can believe everything that they say. The government never lies to us. Since when are we believing everything the government says just because they're our party? So this is what's going on currently. And then a bigger thing happened in 2026 midterms. Thomas Massie. Trump did not like this guy, and they called him the no politician. And a lot of people got fooled, by the way, including people I know who are older than me, who believe whatever they want to believe. I'm not going to say their names, though. But it's very unfortunate. Every Gen Z agrees with me, though, that I've talked with. He got endorsed by Democrats. Let me explain why. Because Trump endorsed some other guy who no one's ever heard of, by the way. And he won by 10 points. But Thomas Massie got endorsed by Democrats because Democrats hate Trump. And they know Thomas Massie is voting against things that Trump wants. But here's the thing. Here's the reason why Thomas Massie voted against things. Because the big beautiful bill, and a couple other bills that I do want passed, by the way, there was a couple things in there that were not good. And Thomas Massie saw that and so voted with the Democrats. That is why everyone says he's a liberal. But he's not. He's more conservative than probably most, if not all, of the Congress. It says a lot. And so, who is going to be the biggest threat in 2028? Who is going to run for president? Let me tell you, 70% of people wanted Thomas Massie, who were Gen Z, to be president. He's already won Gen Z. He won it. And also he won Gen Y. Barely, but he won it. The only generation that he didn't win were, ironically, Gen X and Boomers. Imagine. The difference between Thomas Massie and most politicians is that he does not accept any money from an organization called AIPAC. Now, I'm not going to say much about them. I'll let you believe whatever you want on that. But it seems suspicious to me that every politician that is corrupt accepts money from AIPAC, but Thomas Massie does not. That says a lot. And then AIPAC funded his opponent. More money was spent on this primary than any primary ever recorded in history. Israel did not want Thomas Massie to win. Did I say Israel? I meant AIPAC, sorry. AIPAC did not want Thomas Massie to win. Trump did not want Thomas Massey did win, and so he lost. So that took longer than expected. This video might be pretty long because now we got to talk about who's going to run in 2028 for Republicans. I might mention the Democrats, but I'm not really concerned. They're not going to win, and I don't want them to win either, and nor should you. Anyone who votes a Democrat is so stupid. And if you claim to be a Christian, please check your spiritual life because you are far from that if you're going to vote a Democrat who supports the slaughter of babies, who supports the indoctrination of children, who supports homosexuality being anywhere near your children. You want to support that party, don't ever call yourself a Christian. The 5 most likely candidates. So I did a video recently, and it's outdated now because I've changed it. Of course, we got J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz. Hard to believe that he's even on that option. He's thinking about running. Then we got Tucker Carlson. I did not take him off. And then we got Thomas Massey. So I have all 5 of those people on there, and I got a lot of likely scenarios. But first of all, I want to talk about my opinions on each of them. So J.D. Vance, I don't know if I like this guy, and I don't think I'm voting him in the primaries. I'm not voting him in the primaries. Let me just say that. 100% not voting him in the primaries. If he does win the primaries and run for president, obviously, I will vote him over the Democrat, but I will not vote him in the primaries. Even if everyone drops out, I'm still writing in someone else. So, my opinion, he was a never-Trumper like 4 years ago. He said, I am a never-Trumper. I don't like Trump. And now all of a sudden, he is the vice president of the United States. Now, the only thing I can respect about him is that he's America first. He's the only America first person in Trump's administration left. Let's just say that. But he's been quiet on it. He's not speaking against it. So, I mean, he wants to keep his job, obviously. So maybe he could do a good job. Honestly, if he does win, it's not going to be terrible for our country. I think he'll do a better job than the current administration, but not as good of a job that I would like to happen. So then we have Marco Rubio. Now, I don't know much about this guy, but I've heard a lot of people like him. And he's from Florida, so of course he's going to be a great guy. I would vote him over J.D. Vance. He ran in 2016. He was a bit younger. Now he's 2028. It's been 12 years. Maybe he's ready. Ted Cruz is a joke. I hate Ted Cruz. I think he's a terrible politician, and he does not know his Bible. That Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz debate showed that. Ted Cruz says, the only reason why I support funding Israel is because the Bible tells me to. No, it doesn't. Read your Bible better. So, he's a joke. He ain't going to win. Nobody likes him. I'm surprised he even wins his own primaries in Texas because he is that terrible of a politician. Honestly, he should resign. Then we got Tucker Carlson. I don't think Tucker Carlson is going, and this is not in particular order, by the way. I don't think Tucker Carlson is going to run, but he's joked about just running against Ted Cruz, just so that he could debate him and get more votes than him. Honestly, I would love to see that happening. So I like Tucker Carlson. I think he's a little bit too much of a conspiracy theorist. Candace Owens, same thing. I think she is gone off the rails. She's really weird. I don't agree with everything that she says. I don't agree with everything that Tucker says, but I think Tucker is okay. He's a great guy, redneck, and would be a very good president. And then Thomas Massey. This is a very good option too. Very conservative, Christian man. I think a Massey Carlson administration would go pretty well. So that's my opinions on them. So the 5 likely scenarios, there might be more, I might add one in a minute, is Thomas Massey runs against JD or Marco Rubio. So first is he wins. So if Thomas Massey were to win an election against Trump's backed candidates, JD or Marco, which is one of them, it will be one of them, by the way, 100% guarantee it will be JD or Marco that runs in 2028. No doubt about that. So I do have that accurately. Though both of them are not going to run at the same time because Marco said he won't run if JD runs. And if Marco runs, JD ain't running. So there we go. So it's going to be one of those two people are going to be running against Thomas Massey. Thomas Massey will be polling pretty well. So Most likely, anyone else who runs is going to be in the dust. Nobody cares about them. This is the most likely scenario. Is this right here? This is the most likeliest scenario to happen. Is Thomas Massie runs against, actually second most. Thomas Massie runs against JD Vance or Marco Rubio. If he wins, it's going to be an uproar. Honestly, I don't even think he's going to make it. I think they're going to assassinate him or something, or make it to where he can't run. I do believe that. But if he does survive, I do believe he'll bring a change to this country in a Christian way. Honestly, though, he needs more than just Gen Z to vote him. He needs the boomers and he needs Gen X to support him. But I do know for a fact that a lot of independents, people who claim that they want to vote Democrat, are going to vote Thomas Massie if he runs. So I think Thomas Massie will take votes from Democrats, which is a good thing. So I think he has a better chance at winning an election in 2028 in November. Not the primaries, I'm talking about November. He has a better chance than JD or Marco probably. And he'll win probably maybe even more states than Marco Rubio or JD Vance, just because Thomas Massie is not bought or paid for by either side. And he's kept his conservative traditions and is not caved in to either side wanting him to cave in. So that is a big likely scenario. Or he loses, which is very likely too. And we have a Marco Rubio or JD Vance presidency from 2028 to 2036, which is pretty likely. I don't think the Democrats are going to win. Their options are Gavin Newsom, AOC, Kamala Harris. Jokes, pretty much. None of them are going to win. They're all idiots who... and Kamala polling at number 1 is ridiculous. Guys, she's a joke. Why is she polling that high? So if Kamala runs against Thomas Massie's beat her bad. He's probably going to hit 400 electoral votes at that rate. So Marco Rubio, JD Vance wins. We'll probably win the Senate. The House is a toss-up. I don't know if we'll win the House or not. The Senate is a guarantee win to win for the next couple decades. I don't see the Democrats winning the Senate anytime soon, just because they don't have the states now. I believe it's 26 states are Republican officially. And the thing is, 24 states are not Democrat. That's the thing. In fact, 26 states are Republican in if you take out Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia, and Pennsylvania, that leaves the Democrats with only 18 states. I kept North Carolina with the Republicans because it's going Republican. I don't know why they're putting it Democrat. So we have 6 toss-ups. So honestly, the Senate could be a 30-20. I misdid that. No, it could be a 32-18, which is a filibuster. Not 38. 32 states being Republican and 18 being Democrat, which would give the Senate 64 seats, which could happen eventually. Next scenario, which is very unlikely, is Tucker Carlson runs against JD Vance or Marco Rubio. I don't think Tucker could win, but if he does win, that would also be a good thing. Truth would be out. He would release the Epstein list and a lot of other things. The UFO classifications, I don't understand any of that. I do not believe in UFOs. I don't understand why that's a big deal. So we got that. Then we got another scenario. Oh, yeah, if Tucker loses, same thing. JD or Marco win. Another outcome, which is the least likely, is JD versus Marco. As I've said before, they're not running against each other. But that would be interesting to see who would win that. I think Marco could pull it out. But then again, I think it's a 50-50. I think either one of them could win. And I'm not saying they're going to do a terrible job. I think they would do a okay job as president. I think Marco would do a better job. I think they would both do a better job than Trump. Trump is getting old. I think these two are young, who are more for Gen Z, and Gen Z are gonna listen to them more. Then all 5 run is a very unlikely scenario. If all 5 run, who would win? Assassinations, could any of these people get assassinated? I think Thomas Massie and Tucker Carlson are the two most likely to get assassinated if they were to run. So protect them. I didn't even give a scenario for Ted Cruz because Ted Cruz ain't going to win. Let's just say that. He's not going to win. So, in conclusion, where am I at? Who am I endorsing? If, for the president, out of all 5 of those people, I am endorsing Thomas Massie as of now, or Tucker Carlson's between those two. But Thomas Massie, most likely. If Massie or Carlson do not run, I will probably endorse Rubio. That would be my third option. But if not, I'm already polling Massie in my servers, and I've seen other YouTube polls that have bigger channels that hundreds of thousands of people vote in, and Thomas Massie wins in all of them. He wins with 70%, some 60%. It's tremendous. He has not lost a single poll that I've seen, and he's winning huge, big. So he should probably run for president. He has it. He's won it. If he does, it's amazing of how much support he does have from Gen Z. Again, though, all of Gen Z pretty much can vote, I believe. I think the youngest Gen Z is now 95. 2010. Oh, the youngest Gen Z is 16. So by 2028, all Gen Z will be able to vote, except the November and December babies, because I think the cutoff is in October. So pretty much Gen Z. Then again, a third of us have been aborted already, so I don't know. I don't know if we have the numbers. And also another third are probably liberals and not going to vote Thomas Massie, so you have another third. So depending on that third of Gen Zs, if every single one, and it's not 100% of Gen Zs, it's only 70%. If they all vote, we need the Gen Y vote as well. And we also need to get a lot of, even if we lose the Gen X and Boomers, we need to get it close still, competitive, which could still equally let us win with Thomas Massie. So that's my opinion for the take of the day. About the news, I do want to do that very soon. I said a lot of things. Some things that I've said I might cut out because I think I went a little too far. But thank you for watching Red Wave of America today, guys. And have a great rest of your week. God bless.